Dude is big. He's not as slow as people think he is, and he can punch. You know, that's why a lot of people know, like,
Terence Crawford and his strength, his poise, his skill level, his defense. It was a master class, and I think it shot him right up to the #1 pound for pound.
I'm fighting Jake Paul. I'm fighting Jake Paul. Come on, Jake. Hey, Logan.
Jake Paul versus Terence Crawford. Crawford is one of the best fighters of all time, pound for pound. Someone who made a living by being skilled, patient, and accurate has officially changed his mind.
We have this conversation, Ray. Would you fight Jake Paul?
Nah. Jake doing his
too
thing.
big. He too big.
Yeah, Jake big, but he doing his thing, man.
Crawford says he's ready to fight Jake Paul if the conditions are right. For years, he thought of him as nothing more than a YouTube show. That's right. Terence Crawford used to say that Jake Paul was making boxing into a circus act, but he now says that Jake's discipline, power, and growth in the ring have made him change his mind.
Jake can punch with that right hand. Like, I seen him, up close in person. Like, dude is big. He's not as slow as people think he is, and he can punch. You know, that's why a lot of people know, like, there was times where, him and Tyson was in the ring and he could have like laid it on Tyson, but he kind of like held back.
There has never been a story like this in modern fighting, because not long ago, Crawford didn't like what Jake stood for, a YouTuber who is making huge amounts of money, skipping the amateur grind, and calling out stars who have worked hard for decades to earn respect. But now that Gervonta Tank Davis might not be able to fight Jake in his next match, Crawford may step in as a replacement. Let's be honest, even the most stubborn giants start to pay attention when the payout looks this big.
Jake Paul, Gervonta Tank Davis, the fight is in jeopardy. There's another, yes, I said another domestic abuse allegation against Gervonta Davis, and that may either destroy, postpone, change the entire event.
How did the best boxing expert ever go from making fun of Jake Paul to possibly sparring with him? You might be surprised by the answer. You need to go back to see how crazy this shift is. Crawford didn't just not care about Jake Paul, he worked hard to hurt him. Craig made it clear when Jake first started fighting. He believed the YouTuber was showing disrespect for the sport. He told me that boxing isn't fun. It takes blood, patience, and hard lessons to learn how to do it. For him, Jake was just a way to make money. Someone coming into the holy ground of boxing with fans instead of footwork.
When people was coming at you and your brother negative about boxing, I'm like, man, yeah, them dudes just, using their YouTube status to come in boxing and make all this money.
Crawford once said that Jake was like a circus act. It's entertaining, but it's not part of the main show. That was not the case when Crawford went to Puerto Rico that night. He wasn't there to check out Jake, he was there for a gathering. But Jake's fight with Ryan Borland brought him to the ring. For the first time, Crawford lost respect for Jake when he scored a clean knockout. He later said, "I saw him up close and personal. That guy is big. Not as slow as people think. He can punch." The person who used to laugh at Jake Paul got something new that night. Interested.
And you got all these boxers that's been doing it their whole life that doesn't even make close to what they making. I said, I think it's disrespectful to us in the game. And then
a few weeks later, Crawford went on Logan Paul's show, where fans were shocked to hear something they didn't expect. Crawford told everyone that he was wrong. "I thought it was rude at first. I thought, man, this dude's using his YouTube fame to get rich off boxing. Then I saw him work out. I thought, this guy's getting better when I saw how hard he was working." This is coming from Terence Crawford, who is known for being a perfectionist and never giving praise. That is a very strong message. He talked about how Jake's commitment had changed the way he saw things. Jake wasn't just showing up for news stories any longer. He sparred with real professionals, followed tight camps, and got better with every fight.
His last fight, I was there ringside and sitting there, and I'm like, man, this dude can punch with that right hand. I'm like, man, he ain't just no regular.
Something changed.
Yeah, like when you see it firsthand, like he ain't fighting no killer.
It was fine to call him serious, but not special. And that change made it possible for a question that Crawford would have laughed off before. What would happen if I fought Jake Paul? There is more going on here than just respect, of course. There's cash. The boxer Terence Crawford has done everything there is to do. Undisputed 2-division winner, undefeated record, and #1 in his weight class. There's only one thing left to chase now, a lot of crossing money. And Jake Paul makes more noise than anyone else in his sport. People from all walks of life go to Jake's fights, which is something that boxing hasn't seen in years. Whether you like him or not, he's brought the show back to life, which means pay-per-view gold.
Let Jake do what
You
Jake.
got 200 million for you.
I'm fighting Jake Paul. I'm fighting Jake Paul. Come on, Jake. Hey, Logan. Forgive me.
Crawford is starting to understand. The point is not to show who is the better fighter. That's already been shown. This is about time, leaving a legacy, and making money while everyone is still looking. So, when Whisper said that Tank Davis's legal problems might mean he couldn't fight Jake Paul, Crawford didn't say no. He said that chaos will break out in the fighting world if all the stars line up.
Been a lot of allegations against Tank. When things like this happen over and over, I think this is his 4th or maybe 5th allegation of domestic abuse, you kind of start to have to look at the person that's being accused of such and go, why do you keep ending up in these situations? And the way it's described, we've even seen Tank do some of the things already on camera. I don't think that's something that Netflix is wanting to be a part of at that point. I don't know if Jake wants to be involved with somebody like that, which is why they're starting to look for potential replacement.
Jake was supposed to fight Gervonta Tank Davis, but Davis got into legal trouble with assault claims, lawsuits, and doubts about his future fight. All of a sudden, Jake Paul's huge Netflix event looked like it might fall apart. That's what his team always does. They turn quickly. Some names that were thrown around as possible replacements were Ryan Garcia, Nate Diaz, and even Anthony Joshua. But Crawford's name got all the attention right away because it made sense. Crawford gives people faith. Jake brings a list. They bring news, ideas, and attention from around the world. And Jake Paul didn't think twice when he heard about the chance. He said, "I'd fight Terence for sure. Let's do it."
Terence Crawford, you just made my bitch list.
Would you fight Jake Paul?
Nah.
Come on now, bro. All these pound-for-pound fighters are too scared to fight me. They need 200 million to do it.
Right then, the dream began to feel a lot like real life. Now, this isn't about shock value for Jake, it's about living on. Even if he loses, he knows that facing Terence Crawford would erase the YouTuber boxer label right away. Jake isn't just full of confidence, he's 9 years younger than Crawford and bigger and stronger. He's sure that his size makes him equal. "This fight is crazy," Jake said in a talk. "But that's why it makes sense. It's a tie between my size and his skill. No one knows what will happen." That's the kind of planned crazy that Jake loves. Now for the twist. Crawford isn't amusing himself with him anymore. He now says that Jake Paul is a boxer. It's not a lie that he's ready to fight Usyk or Canelo tomorrow. He's facing guys that are at the same level as him and getting better with each fight. He is getting better.
But for him, it's stepping stones just like any other fighter.
Yep.
Like, a lot of people want Jake Paul to just go in there and fight Alexander Usyk, but no, you gotta.
Ford said, "I respected him more after seeing him live than before." That's not just a praise. That's proof from one of the sport's smartest mechanics. Before a year, Crawford wouldn't even say Jake's name near the word boxing. He says, "If everything works out, I'll take that fight today." Not just respect for each other. It could mean a change in the way boxers act. It's not like it used to be to box. Fights happen in more places than just clubs now. They happen in boardrooms, when people are planning deals, and in social media wars.
Don't know anything about the Gervonta Davis situation. I don't know if the fight's off. I don't know. No real conversations about Anthony Joshua. I mean, I might have slipped it into a conversation, but the key thing is obviously Anthony's exclusive with the zone.
Jake Paul is in a fight with Netflix. Don is linked to Ryan Garcia and Anthony Joshua. Now that he is a free agent, Crawford is the most flexible big name in the sport. Even Joshua's manager, Eddie Hearn, said that Jake's team had asked about future fights, including one with AJ. One thing is clear now. Real boxing and influencing boxing are becoming less and less different. If the purest, skilled, and legendary Terence Crawford fights Jake Paul, it will be the start of a new age. In this day and age, tradition and fun mix, and the pull of the numbers is strong on everyone. Take a look. Terence Crawford, for 120, is a tech genius. Jake Paul, who weighs 200 pounds, explosive power and a never-ending hype machine. It's about age versus knowledge, respect versus risk, boxing from the old days versus business from the new. Fans are split up. Half of them say it's a shame. Half of them say it's brilliant. One thing, though, everyone agrees on. Whole world will see this if it takes place. There are rumors that the event could take place in Las Vegas or even Saudi Arabia. And if that's true, this could be the biggest pay-per-view event ever.
He has what Teddy called like a third eye, his instincts. He sees things before other people sees it, and he's able to react quicker than people realize. I think that cements him as the number one based on his performance against Errol Spence Jr. I think he's the number one fighter pound for pound on the planet right now. Do you agree with me?
I would agree. And it makes me think, like, I start to think, who would have won, Terence Crawford or Floyd Mayweather? And based off of how Terence looked at welterweight, I think Terence would have won.
It's not just another fight. It's seen all over the world and shows how boxing has grown into more than just belts and ranks. Terence Crawford once thought Jake Paul was just a show. He is now seeing him as an enemy. It's no longer about hate. It has to do with chances. Jake makes a nose. Crawford does the right thing. Together, they make a show that could define this age of boxing. Do you think Jake Paul has a chance against a pound-for-pound legend? That's the only question left. Or is Crawford going to show everyone what real fighting looks like? But one thing is certain. Boxing will never be the same again if this fight goes through. Just write your thoughts in the box below. Put it out there in the open. Hulk, hey, you're pretty strong too. That's it. I want to fight you, Paul. Okay. Guys, sign up for Fight Motive and turn on notifications to never miss out on good material about boxing news, moments, events, and actions. See our other videos too. Until the next time.